In this video, I'm going to show you 7 common mistakes / struggles that people go through, including myself, when they're trying to lose weight. And this is assuming that you're following the right plan, by the way. If you don't have a plan, then make sure you check out my other videos. You can also check out the link at the top right-hand corner here or in the description box if you just want a proven step-by-step plan on how to do this properly and efficiently, just like all my students in the Newbie Fitness Fat Loss Institute. The cool kids call it Newbie Fitness Fly. But in either case, mistakes are part of the process. That means you're trying, and it's not always going to be pretty. But here's the thing, you don't actually have to make a lot of these mistakes yourself to begin with. You can just learn from other people's mistakes. You can learn from my mistakes and the mistakes of all my students. And I've been doing this since 2012, and I've helped thousands of people transform their bodies and their lives in the process. Because if you can just learn from other people's mistakes, you can expedite your process through this whole weight loss journey of yours. Before we get started, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. Mistake number 1. Too much mainstream / social media time. Here's the problem with social media, and it's not going anywhere. It's part of our lives now. We're gonna be exposed to it in some way, shape, or form. And this also applies to mainstream media. I mean, I personally don't have cable and I don't own a TV, period, but the same concept applies here. Because social media gives us the impression that we are all constantly surrounded by these perfect human beings. We're constantly bombarded by other people's best moments. You see their best picture out of the 200 that they took. You only see your favorite fitness influencers' healthiest meals. You only see their heaviest lifts. Basically, what we mostly see are other people's highlight reels. That's what social media is about. People aren't usually inclined to post their failures. And that's understandable. It's a lot more exciting to share your success than say, I failed at this one thing today. I had a bad day and I had a tub of Ben & Jerry's and I ate it in one sitting. Go me. That's not interesting content. But it gives us this impression that everyone else is succeeding seemingly, while we're sitting here failing constantly. Like you see somebody squatting 300 pounds and you can't even make it a flight of stairs without stopping once or twice. We feel like a failure because we're not constantly succeeding like everyone else appears to be. And that's the keyword here. They appear to be succeeding, and that used to be me. Social media made me feel like I'm behind everyone else. I kind of felt helpless. You go on social media and you see all these people, including their dog, post their before and after pictures, and they're hitting all their goals, and here you are in weight loss struggle city. And it makes you go, how could I possibly ever catch up to that? And it's so much easier to just fall into this trap of self-pity. But here's the truth. A lot of these celebrities, and this includes your favorite fitness influencer, they're most likely enhancing these pictures. They don't look like that 24/7. Some of them might even be putting foreign substances in their bodies to make them look different, and then they all claim to be natural. So sometimes, or most of the time, what you see on social media isn't even a result of their hard work or knowledge. It's the result of money and Photoshop skills. Or maybe they just won the genetic pool lottery and they were just born with abs. Full transparency, I'm not one of those people. I have to work really hard to stay lean. But social media just constantly makes you question yourself. It just makes you feel less about yourself if you spend enough time on it. That's why it's so important to always remind yourself that weight loss and improving your overall health is a journey. It's gonna be different for everyone. We're all gonna have our success and failures. Like, just because you see someone hit their goals in X amount of time doesn't mean that you have to hit them in the same time period. Comparing yourself to other people's progress honestly just leads to one thing. Actually, 2 things. Unhappiness and disappointment. Because bio-individuality plays a huge role in your journey. Like, somebody who's been carrying an extra 80 pounds of fat for a really long time is gonna lose that weight a lot differently than someone who, let's say, gained 80 pounds from pregnancy. Just don't lose that perspective. It's gonna be different for everyone. Number 2, not making time for yourself. I'm still a work in progress when it comes to this, but I've gotten a lot better at it. Because work-life balance in varying degrees can be a huge problem for a lot of people. Like, I used to feel bad taking days off for the longest time because I felt like if I wasn't working, I wasn't being productive. I didn't deserve the time off. But that's changed a lot, especially with what's going on in the world right now, because we're forced to stay home a lot more. And I've definitely allowed myself to take mini breaks throughout the day. I've even allowed myself yourself to take half days off or even full days off. Trust me when I say that that's huge progress for me, because I used to be a workaholic. I mean, I still am, but I take more breaks now. Listen, you can't allow yourself to be completely consumed by work. And I know that we all have bills to pay, but usually work, even if it's work that you love doing, it usually comes with a little bit of stress. And you don't want that stress to linger and becomes like a constant thing. And when you're working too much, that also cuts down to your social time, aka life. And that social time also includes social time by yourself, just doing whatever you want. And I'm an ambivert, which means that I can be introverted and extroverted at certain times. I like hanging out with people, but there's a limit. And once I reach that limit, I need to go. Like, I'm usually the first person to leave parties because I just know my limit. But if you work all the time and you don't find time for yourself to be social, then that's actually not healthy, because we are social beings. We evolved as human beings to socialize. And research has shown that those who spend enough time with friends and family tend to live longer and healthier lives. This is serious stuff, by the way, because lack of social time with friends and family can be as bad as eating unhealthy food, and it could lead you to actually getting sick. Like, loneliness is a big problem for a lot of people. And I don't expect you to just turn into a social butterfly here. Just make sure that you are hanging out with the right people. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend time with the most. So choose wisely. Number 3, not focusing on getting adequate and quality sleep. I love sleep, but sometimes sleep and I just don't get along. And usually when you don't get quality sleep, that stems from your diet and sleep hygiene. For example, I'm a big advocate of an optional cheat meal every week or every couple of weeks, because I love carrot cake and cheesecake, and I've been known to indulge in those things every once in a while. But more likely than not, whenever I have sweets, my sleep is usually trash that night. But that's okay. That's kind of the price that you pay. But you also have to make sure that you are putting yourself in a position to get the best quality sleep possible every day. What I mean by that is make sure you're giving yourself 1 hour of no screen time before bed. Or at the very least, if you have to work, let's say, put your phone and laptop on dark mode, where the screen kind of turns orange, or you can wear one of those light blocking orange glasses. Do your best to get 7 hours of quality sleep in a pitch black room every night, because any sort of lingering light could disrupt your sleep pattern. I noticed this the other day when I installed my air conditioner, and I had this little strip of uncovered space that I was letting in light from outside. But I kind of just ignored it because I wear a sleep mask anyway. But instead of improving my sleep quality that night because my room was a lot cooler, I had the worst sleep. But since I fixed that little strip, my sleep quality has improved. Because light exposure to your skin, even if you're wearing a sleep mask, can affect your sleep quality. And I mentioned sleep in basically every single one of my videos, because sleep is so important. Like, none of this is gonna work if you don't get this part right. So just do it. Number 4, not drinking enough water. I used to never mention this in my older videos, but it's time to open up about my struggles with this. I'm still guilty of it up to this day. Yesterday, I think I only drank 2 glasses of water, 1 in the morning and 1 during dinner. Pathetic. I had bulletproof coffee in the morning as well. And coffee is a diuretic, so that actually cancels out 1 of my glasses of water. So technically, I only had 1 glass of water. That's not good. I even bought this fancy water bottle to help to make myself feel bad every time I don't use it. Who in their right mind pays $40 for this, by the way? And I honestly shouldn't have to explain why drinking water is so important. Like, it's a great appetite suppressant if you're fasting, for example. And up to 60% of the human body is made out of water. It's necessary for life. You would die without water. And if you're guilty of the same struggles, be better. Be better than me. Number 5, not getting enough movement throughout the day. This was something that I was extremely guilty of for the longest time. I suffered from what is called an active couch potato syndrome. I would do my workout, and then for the rest of the day, I would avoid anything and everything that involved me exerting myself physically. I was so lazy, I would drive to the coffee shop that was 2 blocks away from my house. I know, it was bad. I honestly wasn't aware of this until I started tracking my steps and realized how little I moved. I was mortified. Listen, we evolved as human beings to move. Otherwise, you'd be a tree. This is why I can't emphasize enough the importance of trying to get 10,000 steps every day, because it's a big enough goal that it forces you to move your body throughout the day. Because the average North American only gets about 4,700 steps every day. I think I only got 47 steps every day. before. The average North American is also overweight. So we want to be way above average here when it comes to getting in our movement throughout the day, because nothing shuts down your fat burning metabolism faster than prolonged periods where you're completely sedentary, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting, like if you work an office job, for example. And this is when you start seeing people's postures deteriorate. This is when you see people start to have really tight hips. They look like they're gonna fold in half when they try to squat. And that's gonna affect you later on, especially as you get older. It's only gonna get worse. Nowadays, I go for 4 separate 15-minute walks outside of my workout. And there are so many benefits to walking, it's not even funny. And it's free. And make sure you check out this video if you wanna know more about the science behind it. Number 6, making yourself feel bad about cheat meals. I've also made a couple of videos about this topic, so make sure you check it out. But my biggest point here is to acknowledge that it happened. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Cut the cord and just move on. The faster you can do that, the faster you can start losing weight again. This is why having a good relationship with yourself is so important. That honestly should be your #1 priority, which is why I'm a big advocate of practicing mindfulness and journaling, so you can be more in control of your thoughts and feelings. That way, whenever you have negative thoughts in your head, you can just let them go. And having a good relationship with yourself allows you to look at these little slip-ups as just that. It's just a small bump on the road. You're able to put things into perspective a lot faster and not beat yourself up about it. Remember, you're one good meal away from being back on track. Number 7, not putting yourself in the best position possible to succeed. Sometimes we do this subconsciously, but here's the thing. Human beings are not wired for self-control. I am a perfect example of that. I have zero self-control whenever there's bad food around. If there's cheesecake in my house, I will eat it. If there are 2 slices, I'm gonna eat them both. If you bring cookies to my house, come back the next day, they're gonna be gone. They're gonna be in my stomach. I'm basically a magician when it comes to treats. I make them disappear. That's why I can't emphasize this enough. Do not stock bad food at home, because more likely than not, you're gonna eat it. Usually in one sitting. Having said all of that, do not forget to do this one important thing. Don't forget to remind yourself how far you've come along in this journey, especially when it comes to the different aspects of it. For me, I used to hate going to the gym. My brother had to drag me kicking and screaming when I went to the gym for the first time. These days, I'm an absolute gym rat. I love training. That's where my community is. I love it so much, I became a national level weightlifter because of it. When it comes to my diet, truth be told, I didn't start eating vegetables until I was 23. I thought they were gross, but nowadays, I've definitely improved on that. I love vegetables. I'm super proud of my progress. 90% of my diet these days is now comprised of single ingredient, mostly unprocessed, nutrient-dense foods. I only buy grass-fed and grass-finished beef. I only eat pastured eggs. I buy organic whenever possible. I even switched to mold-free coffee lately. I'm also into biohacking these days, and I feel amazing because of it. But I wasn't always like that. That's why I always say that there are levels to this. I had to evolve. I also enjoyed the occasional cheesecake and pizza every once in a while, and that's totally fine. Do I feel like hot garbage the next day after eating those? Absolutely. But I know that I can get back on the wagon the next day by doing a 24-hour fast and combining that with a HIIT workout, which I do most of the time anyway. That's how you can get away with cheat meals, by the way. Just don't abuse it, obviously. But years ago, I didn't think like that. I had an unhealthy relationship with food. These days, I'm a lot better. But that's how you learn. Again, just don't forget to give yourself a pat on the back and celebrate how far you've come. Be your own biggest fan in all of this. Life gets so much easier if you learn to live like that. And acknowledge that mistakes are bound to happen. If you can be good 90% of the time, or as close to that as possible, you're gonna be okay. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing. 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. All right, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. First, a high five.